Hey family, hey family, hey family. It is your girl, Mrs. Michelle Allen Franklin, honey. Yes, Mrs. Michelle DIY for divine intervention, honey, because you know there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl's giving you the good information, boo. The things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And honey, what you need for your emotions is all these good women your girl been talking to for Women's History Month. Yes, honey. Have you been inspired? Have you been empowered, honey? If you haven't been, what you been, boo? What you been doing? Catch up. Go to Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. That's Reflections CMGF at the YouTube on the YouTube channel, boo. Yes, honey. Yes, because each and every day I'm bringing you an amazing woman, a phenomenal woman that has inspired and empowered my life. And today, baby, today, this is my boo right here. This is my heart right here. This is my big cousin. My big cousin, Miss Sharlon Waters Sirles is here with your girl today. Hey guys!
Hi, guys. Hi, Michelle. Happy to be here.
Oh my goodness, my heart is just so happy right now. Oh my goodness. This, y'all don't understand. This is my big cousin. This is my big cousin. My big cousin that I feel like molded my life, and she didn't even know. She didn't even know. The only thing that she was doing, the only thing that you were doing, but was walking in your purpose. You were just following your heart and being who you are genuinely, and it rubbed off on us younger cousins. And I mean, I'm grateful. But we're gonna jump right into it. So those of y'all that follow your girl know that, I always talk about, the first time that I had sex and I got pregnant. I was in Baltimore, Maryland. I was in them city streets, honey, and your girl was just not making the best decisions. We're just going to go there. I was not making the best decisions. I was an A and B student all the way up through school, got to high school, completely lost my mind, failed the class in 9th grade, had to go to summer school. How you get to all the way up to high school, Charlotte, and then start?
Girl, life.
Life was life. Life was life.
Life was life.
Life was
Teenage years, you know.
Lord, it just be crazy. And so your girl, decided I needed to change from the city. Things were going on. I wasn't making the best decisions. And at 16 years old, I moved to Texas with my dad. And down here, we have a really, really big family. And so everybody's always over to Big Mama's house. And your girl was happy. I was happy to be with my cousins and everything. When I was younger and I would come down, me and my cousin Pooh, we talked about this the other day, right? Me and Pooh was hanging. And now I come down to live and Charlotte is here. Baby, yes. I'll never forget, Charlotte, because the first time I feel like you, not only did you lay my foundation of faith, just solidify. It started with my mom, but then you came down. When I came down here, everyone was going to church, and so that's what we were doing. We were going to church because big cousins were going to church. Talk about that a little bit, and where did that start for you?
So our family, like you said, Michelle, was raised in church. Yes. Our pawpaw, when I was little, I remember, because when I was 5 when he passed away, but I remember walking behind everyone. I was the baby at that time of the family, walking behind everyone going to church. Yes. And my mom, of course, laid that foundation that she was given. And so she believed in God, and that's what it was in our house. We didn't do secular music. Well, perhaps a little Kenny Rogers and a little Dolly Parton. That was our secular music that was played in our house. Other than that, it was gospel music. And that's how she was raised, on gospel music. And my mom, at a young age, she taught us the books of the Bible. I remember our cousins coming over, learning the books of the Bible, learning how to find it, doing Bible drills.
Yes.
And that was her foundation. She realized that if we didn't have that foundation in God, that
That's
we
it right.
probably wouldn't be successful. You know, we wouldn't have any grounding, because she believed in, if you don't believe in anything, you'll fall for everything, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
her belief was, if you believe in God, can no one trick you into anything that you're not willing to do yourself, right? So all of those things that our foundation was strictly God. Everything I remember, like learning prayer, learning
Yes.
at a young age. You know, this is me being at 2 and 3 years old, knowing the books of the Bible and how to find the books of the Bible, and me getting excited about it. She would make it like a
Yes.
game, you know, and so with your cousins around. So all that foundation stemmed from Pawpaw and Big Mama being in the house, and it stemmed to my mom being right
Yes.
there saying, I have these children. It's 5 of us, right?
Mhm.
So I need to raise these children like I was raised. They need a firm foundation. And so she believed in everybody you around need to know who God is through you.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
you went to school, and my mom would walk the hallways, she was that type of mom. Like, if you're in school, you need to be letting your light shine.
I know that's
You
right.
know, go
Yes.
dimming that light, and I'm coming up there dimming your honey. So, yeah.
I
So
know that's
serious.
right, baby. I know that's right.
Yeah. And so when growing up that way, and it was important to me that my cousin saw the God in me, and the
Yeah.
God that I knew, and the God that I leaned on so many times. I had friends, and without prayer, and my mom was like, that's not the one, and she was right there. And I remember, I would never forget, I had one friend, I won't call her name, but we was hanging tight. My mom's like, you don't need to be around her, that, bird of feather flock together, all the sayings.
Yeah. Sure.
And so, but she was I saw different in her than everyone else saw, and she was
Mhm.
a little fast, right? So I
Mhm.
remember she ran away from home, and we was at my big mama's house, and her dad came to the house
Oh wow.
to find her. She was like, where my child is? She hang with her. And so I remember my mom hitting me and saying, I told you, you play with trash, it would get in your eye.
Oh.
And I'm like, but it was important. I realized even in that, she wasn't calling the child trash, but the
Yeah.
people you hang around, it will. And I think about it now, had I not followed the teachings of my mom, follow the Bible, listen or whatever, that trash would have stayed in my eyes. And
Yeah.
so when I decided that I was going to follow God by myself, not
Yes.
kicking and screaming. Younger, you kick and scream a little bit like, oh, I can't have this fun or whatever.
Sure.
But I realized I wanted everyone connected to me to know God,
Yeah.
the God I know, the God is
Yes.
gracious, the God that loves all, the God that gives, yeah, gives with no guilt. Like he don't guilt you into loving him. It's free.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so at that point in my life, when you came down, I was really like
You was
seeking
in it,
God.
girl.
Like,
Yes.
yes. Like, could no one tell me anything about God, because he is who he say he is. And
Yes.
I wanted y'all to see that same God
I
throughout
remember that.
mistakes. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that because I can remember, y'all were, when I first came down, this was before I joined the church and before
Right.
anything. And I can remember watching you in the choir stand. And it just seemed like, I could see this aura around you. It was like you had this glow. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
so beautiful and just. And I remember the day that I decided I was going to give my life to Christ. Um, and Bishop Odell Lee was
Yes.
speaking. But before he preached, you sung, you led the song with Kurt Franklin. Um,
Why
not
do
my
we
life.
sing?
The reason why we sing.
Why
Yes,
we
I
sing?
told you. Yes, the reason why we sing. I'm like, what's the name of the song? I'm forgetting. Yes. You led While We Sing. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was the first time I heard the song. And then Bishop Odell Lee gets up there and preaches. The title of the sermon was Don't Look Back. And it was about Lot's wife and her disobeying God. And I felt like with me coming down to Texas, I had made all these mistakes in Baltimore. I was not living truly and authentically to who I am and who I know myself to be. And it was just like, you have this new lease on life. Don't look back. And the reason why we sing, and I'm like, I want to sing for Jesus too. I want to do that, and oh Lord, I'm about to cry. Y'all trying to get me out.
I know, I'm over here with tears in my eyes too. But it's okay.
But it is the power. It's the power of, it's the power and the ripple effect of, I say, when you walk in your purpose and you walk, in your true authenticity, you don't know who you're inspiring. You don't know what's happening. And, you didn't know what was happening on the inside of me. I didn't share with you till years later, but I just remember very specifically, like, I want to do that. And I want to be like my big cousin, and, I can't even talk right now. I think that was just a tremendous turning point in my life. And it wasn't even, Sharlon, like, you were like, you have to do this, or you have to, leaving like my mom. Like, it wasn't, you have to, it was the way that you walk. You were showing us, you were showing us. And I'm just so grateful for that. Because I think about, what would my life be if I came down and you was at the club and hanging out and doing all the things? At the club, hanging out and doing all the things. I would have been right where you was,
Yeah.
Because that's just the influence of a big cousin, just how important that is. And I love that, that you took the time to, find God for yourself.
Yes.
And just speak about that a little bit in your, in your walk and finding God for yourself, and how important that's been for your life.
Yes. So I think the turning point, of course, being in church is different. When you're raised in church, you're obligated. You feel as a child obligated to do what your parents say, do what you're supposed to do for the church or whatever. But it's different when you begin to start having a relationship with God. And I think my turning point was having Pastor Odell Lee as my pastor, that guided what my mom had already, started. And so he allowed me to be young. And I love me some Kirk Franklin.
Yes.
And so during that time, no one was really receiving him because he was too secular, is what church, the church was saying.
Thing. Yes.
Yes. And the more I could dance his music and feel spiritually, the more I loved him, and bringing that to him and saying, hey, look, the children, we have young people, can we go to his concerts? It was different things like that like us going to Six Flags, his concert. We've been riding with him since he had those water guns, shooting at the water guns, at his concert. Yeah. And we really did. And him being like going up to the church, being available.
Yes.
And during that time I was in college, and I was really wanted to be in Atlanta, Georgia, and didn't want to be back in my hometown, and I was just like toiling with myself. Like, okay, God, I don't know what you're doing in my life, but this can't be it, that type of thing. And having that leadership, like him saying, this is your life. God doesn't judge you. People judge you.
Yes.
God take us as we are. And it was same things my mom always taught us, but it hit differently at that stage in my life, and allowed me to be who I was, and what I was, with no judgment. And I remember coming in often to church and talking to him. We were all the young people would just bombard him during the week.
Yes, we love those. Oh my gosh!
Show up.
He was.
Yes, and we could find him playing the piano. And I remember a song that always stood close to my heart, and I always often find myself singing is Nobody Fault But Mine. If I don't make it to heaven, I can't blame anyone. Basically, is what the song said. Nobody fault but mine. And it
Wow.
rung true to me because I realized I have to live for myself. You
Yes.
have to learn God for yourself. Not
Yes.
what mama told you, not what daddy told you, not what preacher told you, but the experiences you have with God yourself. And if
Yes.
I remember him saying, if you listen to God, but in order to hear him, you have to close your mouth. Because somebody,
That again, Charlotte. Oh
yeah, we want to overtalk God. He said, be quiet and know that I'm God. Be still. Be
my God.
still. Close your
Yes.
mouth. You know, and a lot of times all that noise from people around you, all
Yes.
that noise, it would cloud those things. It would cloud God's voice because he's down here and we wait, God, 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 God.
Yes.
And one other thing he used to tell me, he said, people will come and say, oh, God led me to tell you this. He said, God's going to give you that peace before people come to you. You're going to know if that person was led to come to you or not.
Mm-hmm.
And he often talked about false prophecy, and people
Mm-hmm.
telling you this, that, the other. And only way that you will know if it's true, if God give you that sense of, when people telling you what God has led you already. It's always confirmation, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so just having that along with, at that time in my life, along with the crossroads of being a teenager and going to
Right.
college and not really knowing what I wanted to do, knowing where I wanted to be. Because I wanted to be in Atlanta, Georgia, but mom was like, girl, it's too much stuff going on. She probably was thinking that's a devil's town, but
Yeah.
but
Back then, it's was scary to just move to
yes,
sit. Yeah, that was like,
right,
what you trying to do, girl? Bye. No.
yeah, yes. Because the church would in June, the church would take us like out of state, which was the
Mm-hmm.
best thing. Bishop C.C. Berry applied you with Sister Martell, like all those trailblazers, Sister Chappelle,
Yeah.
that came together to make that benefit for our youth. Each
Mm-hmm.
June, every other June, we would go out of the state, and when I went to Atlanta, Georgia, I just thought that was the best thing.
Yeah.
All of the black businesses, wherever you went, it was like black power, that type of thing. Especially
Yeah.
that young, it's like, oh my goodness, we running everything down here, And so
Yeah.
it was a big step from Tyler, right? So
Yes.
so
Yes.
that was my mind. I don't know what I was going to do there, but that's where I wanted to be. I just wanted to be in the thick of that oneness and all that power of, empowerment. But
Yes. Yes.
being there with him and that leadership, I could. I often say I probably would have strayed a little bit further to the left or right, just
Yeah.
being at that age, but having that male figure that's saying the
Mm-hmm.
same thing as my female mom was saying, it
Mm-hmm.
it really did help.
Solidify that
Yeah,
foundation.
solidified it. Yes. And
Yeah.
it definitely gave me that confirmation.
Mm-hmm. I
And
love that.
once I got it, girl, I wanted everybody to get it. Like you
Yeah.
have to, I'm like the woman at the well, come see a man.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so
Amazing, because that's what I always joke about. That's how I feel. I'm like, honey, when I learn something, baby, I'm coming to teach it, baby. You need to know this
yeah,
information. We need to get this out. Everybody needs to know this.
yeah,
I love it. I love it so much. I
yes,
think the other thing that you did for me is that, I'm not, everybody know I'll bust out in a song in a hot minute.
yeah,
I don't care if I'm hitting the note right. I don't care. I just love music, and that comes from my mom and that foundation.
yes.
But the other thing that happened with me when I moved down here is that you helped me to find my voice. I didn't know that um, I could sing like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I'm not the best singer. I'm not leading or whatever, but I can hold the tune,
Yeah,
right? I want to be in the choir. I want to watch my mom be in the choir, and My stepdad, he used to video us singing and everything like that, but I would only want to sing in the house.
Right.
And I would do like these little talent shows or whatever, but it was always music playing in the background. And so I would feel safe, you
Yeah.
know. But I will never forget you coming to me and you said, this was, I first got here, and you said, we're going to do this program at the church and we're going to sing, and I want you to sing. And I was like, okay. And it was so weird that I even had this insecurity because we sung all the time. Me and Pooh would sing. We always came down and made up our little dance routines.
Yeah.
Always, you know, I was always watching a video, but I've never thought to be like I could do that.
Yes.
I could be the one up there singing at church. And I feel like, you know, you were the first one that like gave me that confirmation. It gave me the pride and the confidence is what I want to say.
Yes.
To sing in front of a group of people and not feel some kind of way about it. You know, I remember when we sung I'm Encouraged. You taught us I'm Encouraged. And we sung it a cappella. And we lit that church up. And I will never forget. I will never forget after overseer, who was our choir director at that time, came and said, "You are a true alto." I didn't even know what a tenor alto soprano was. And she was like, "You are a true alto. I need you in my choir," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "All right," you know. But just the feeling that it gave, you know, to have someone else, again, it is, you know, being seen.
Yeah.
You know, it is being seen. And it was like, I felt like you saw me,
Yeah.
you know, you saw me, and you gave me that permission to use my voice in a different way. And I'm just so grateful for that. So where did that, you know, did you have any experiences like that, or where did that come from for you, where you were just like, I'm going to be singing, I'm singing, you know?
So if anyone know my mom, she had us singing all the time. It's
Yes.
5 of us. So she will get off from work, she would wake us up, we're singing. Like, so we was raised singing all the time. I didn't really feel like my voice was one, like a soloist voice or one to like put out in the forefront or whatever. But my mom empowered each one of us. So although I never felt that, you know, within, I'm like, okay, because we all had our own songs that we led.
Yes.
Just because having that foundation of a mom say you can do anything.
Yes.
You know, and so it pushed us. And so I wanted to give that back to my siblings. I mean, you know, my cousins, my cousins, because although y'all was shy, Shay, Kiana, y'all really didn't want to sing. And I'm like, you got it in you.
Yes.
You know, it's right there in you. You just have to bring it out. It teaching you the parts of it, and y'all holding it the whole time. Y'all took pride in it. And so it was something that was, yes, it was passed down to my mom. So it was one of those gifts that you want to pass to others, you know, and it's like, and I want to empower my cousins, you know, and I found myself now thinking back on all those times. If you give people what was given to you, the jewels, the tokens, not the mess, the jewels, the tokens, the stuff that sustain you. Because sometimes we tend to give the negative rather than the positive. But to sustain them, regardless of what come your way, you're going to keep pushing. You're going to keep singing. You're going to keep doing it. And it's that self-love that you have for yourself. And you're not going to allow anybody to dim that light, you know. And this day and time, unfortunately, people get so upset when you have your own self-love and you're, you know, that, oh, you know, now it's bragging, now it's this. And it's not. It is loving yourself and not allow outside forces to dim your light.
Yes.
Because God is love.
Yes, he is.
And he's our light. And you don't dim it for nobody.
No, you don't.
You know, because he gave it to us. What God gave it to us, he's not taking it away. And so we shouldn't allow anyone else to either, you know?
I
So
love
it's
it.
just that instilling, making sure you're giving light every day.
I love
Every
it.
day you're giving light.
I love it.
And
I love
so,
it. I love
and
it.
singing is our light. I love singing. I love dancing. Like you tell me I can't sing and dance no more. I'm like,
I
I
know,
might
and
not be the best. Huh?
I feel the same way. I'm like, honey, a few years ago, my body kind of imploded. I talk about it sometime on the podcast where my body kind of imploded just from the emotions and all of the grief and everything. It kind of imploded with inflammation, and my feet and my legs were so swollen. I couldn't dance for a while. I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything. And I remember watching you on TikTok dance, and I'm like, I'm gonna be dancing one day. I'm dancing again. I don't care what my body's doing right now, but I know I'm gonna be dancing and moving again. It's fine. But
Yes.
dancing is just I feel like, between singing and dancing, we did all of that too. But
Yes.
you
All
also
the time.
you also gave me permission to dance in church. Like
Yes.
I didn't know that was a thing. Like I didn't know that was a thing. And so I talked with my mom was my very first guest this month, and we talked about the foundation of faith that she laid. So I always loved the choir, and the robes and the rocket and all of that,
Yes.
right? But the dancing in church, you taught me that as well. And so I remember you saying again, there's a program coming up. I'm gonna teach you to dance. And I was like,
Just
oh
put you on the spot.
yes. I was like, oh, down for it, honey. Okay, what we gonna do? Okay. And in turn, that same dance, Sharlon, I have taught my oldest daughter, and
Wow.
she's performed it in church. I've taught Marley, and she's
Wow.
performed. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
so,
That's
and it
awesome.
is the words. It was Yolanda Adams. Yet still I rise, and how powerful those words are. And you don't even realize, like, again, it's just the ripple effect
Wow.
of you being your true authentic self, of you allowing your gifts to shine and then to share them with us, and just the ripple effect of that. And so where did the dancing come from? Because I ain't never seen your mama dance. Where did the dancing come
So the dancing, I've always loved to dance, but but the praise dancing came from, to be honest, my first song was given to me. It was Conquerors by God.
from? Yes.
I had just had Chris, and I was in Houston at my sister's, and I love Kirk Franklin. That song came on, and I was in a crossroad of my life, being, young at that time, having a child, and was in my 20s. But of course, at that time, people was like, oh, teen pregnant, those
Yeah.
type of things. And it's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
23, but okay, But I
Right.
was at a crossroad in my life, that trying to figure out what God, intentionally wanted for me at that time of my life. I loved that, loved my child, loved um, that God blessed me with my son. I said, but I was just in a crossroad, and that song came on, and I turned my whole sister living room into a whole praise dance session. By the time she got home, girl, I had this whole praise dance. Well, God gave it to me. Praise
Wow.
dance, like it was just like angelic,
Over you.
you know.
Yes. The spirit of the Lord.
Yes, it was just like, oh my goodness. And so during the time I moved back at some point back to Tyler, and I remember introducing the praise dance, because Church of Living God did not have praise dance at all. And
Mm-hmm.
so Eldris Henderson in Athens,
Uh-huh.
so Sister Chappelle, that, yeah, y'all can do it here, and so that was the first praise dance that was done, and Bishop Barry was there, and he was like, oh my goodness, we need these girls to do more of this. And it was Vivian. I taught Vivian and can't even think of older sister, Holly's Alicia. Vivian
Oh,
and
okay.
Alicia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yes.
taught them, and they did it. I think Vivian did, I think Alicia did it with me in Athens. And that
Okay.
started it. That just started the rise. Yes, still our rise song came when it was life hitting, like feel like it was knocking me down.
Yes.
Literally, it was like
Yes.
so much negative from outside forces, so much things. And I'm like, Lord, I know you gave me this. I know this is who I am. I know, just a reassuring of who God was. And at that
Mhm.
time, that song came to my mind. And again, I was listening to the song and God just gave it to me. It wasn't, the funny part, when I taught the songs, I don't know if y'all ever remember. I'm like, hold on, wait, let me go back. It was hard for me to teach. It's almost teaching someone how to preach,
Yeah.
right? When God gave it to you, it was so hard for me to teach. But when I taught it, y'all was right there. Y'all caught on so fast that I didn't have to keep going over and over because I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I would dance with y'all, I probably would start doing other things and y'all would still stay in y'all,
It was in the spirit. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's where that came from. God, completely from God, like
Wow.
everything. Um, and I remember doing Stomp too. The song Stomp was
Yeah.
for, and that was risque in church, but
Especially back then. Especially back then. But
yes,
look at what you did by being obedient to the
yeah,
spirit. Because when I tell you, we don't have a convention without the praise dance section now. Like that's a whole, thing at the convention. It's a whole thing for people to come and, do that. But you opened the door just by being obedient to the spirit at a time when it was really risky.
yes. Because it was originally said, and it was like no, like in the church, but it was like one of those spiritual things that God. I mean, people can't say no to God.
Yes,
You
yes,
can't say no to the spirit when it's a
yes,
spiritual thing. You know,
yes.
yeah. So
And how powerful just the message is through dance, and the spirit of David comes on you, right? It is. It
yes,
is something that takes over. And from
yes.
that, again, the ripple effect is me teaching my children. I'm in Baltimore at Empowerment Temple. What did I do? Put my child
Awesome.
in
Yes.
praise dance, you know. And then I remember going through a season of darkness, after Sean came down here to live and I was in Baltimore, and it was just the lady that did the ministry over there called. They had been doing praise dancing at Empowerment Temple under Pastor Jamal Bryan at that point.
Oh yeah.
And we had been doing praise dance at the church, but it kind of fell off, for a little bit. And then the lady that Antoinette Ware that started the momming and praise dancing came back, and they were trying to start it back up again. And she called me, and by that time, I said, "Oh, Sean is in Texas now." She said, "No, the Lord showed me you today."
Wow. Wow.
And I was like, really? And it was just like that first dance. It was such a release that happened.
Mhm.
We practiced and practiced, and it was for New Year's Eve. And, New Year's is you just,
Oh,
new things, and just letting go of the
yes.
past again, and just, healing and all of the things you can just let go.
Yes.
And I will never forget that dance. But I
Wow.
just feel like because I had the foundation from you,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Thank you, Lord. Yeah.
The ripple effect of that thing was just, oh man, it just amazing.
Mhm.
But again, it is, being obedient to the
Yeah.
spirit, honey.
You have to. I often quote the scripture, obedience is better than sacrifice. I don't
Yeah,
want to know what the sacrifice would have been if I wasn't obedient to God.
surely,
You know, you
surely.
have to be, you have to be obedient. And so, and all that, it's awesome that you have brought it full circle. Seriously, like taking those tools that God had given me to
Yes,
give to, to you, and taking those and doing it for others. And that's what he called us to do, you know.
yes,
And what better love is that? You know, what better love is passing gifts that God has given, you know.
yeah.
So
Yes. Oh,
I know.
I feel full. I feel full, honey. I feel full. I promise you, I've been talking to the most amazing women and just the beautiful spirits the Lord has blessed to cross my path, divinely cross my path. And I mean, I'm talking to everyone and just bringing back these memories and all of the things. And it has just been amazing. But to go back and look at really, you know, why you do what you do, why you are who you are, who taught you that, where did you get that from? And to say that, my big cousin, I'm not gonna start crying. I'm not gonna start crying. But to say that my big cousin, and then it was, just the ripple effect from our family, from being and from Big Mama and Papa, and that foundation that's been laid in our family. And it's just an honor and a privilege to walk, to be. I feel like we're vessels, like God's chosen, that he's chosen us. And understand that it's, guys, I'm not talking about just us and our family, I'm talking about everyone that's watching.
Everybody, yes.
We're vessels. There's a choice to decide. There's a choice to, decide, I'm going to go left or I'm going to go right. And then even to understand, if you've gone to the left, you can always come back over here to the right.
That's it.
Because we're not standing here as perfect beings, right?
No.
Sharlon she wasn't a teenage mom, but she was a young mom. Wasn't married at the time. I was the teenage mom. We made our mistakes, but God still used us.
He did.
He still uses us daily. He still uses us.
That's it.
Right now, Sharlon, you're working with babies, and in the classroom, Sharlon is the best teacher, honey, you ever want to have. When I tell you, baby, I was so grateful when my 30-year-old, she'll be 30 in the next month, but when she was in pre-K, pre-K, and Sharlon was her teacher, honey, the foundation. You are amazing with the babies. Can you talk about that real quick, and just your journey in the educational system?
Yes. So to be honest, my goal was I wanted to be a child psychologist. And so coming to Tyler, going to TJC, I really didn't want to be there. So I didn't want to do nothing there. So my first semester, y'all, I literally had 4 Bible classes. And I was like very rebellious. I was like, I'm just going to take some Bible classes, some I know. And then I took, believe an English class and a child development class. And so going into the child development class at that time, I wasn't even supposed to be in there, because it was like you had to sign up for these classes before. It's like prereq. You have to do this class before you do this class, right? So I guess I slid through the crack. I said, God allowed me to slide through the crack, because I wasn't supposed to be in that class. So when I went to the class, and it was so interesting to me, and as she was teaching, it was like stuff that I already knew for some reason. I was like, oh, I know that, oh, I knew that, or whatever. And so I remember the instructor at the end of the class, she said, we did like a pre-test, and I think I made like a 95 on it or something like that. And she said, you're natural with children. And mind you, my family would tell you, I didn't like children, like little ones. I didn't like the crying. I didn't like the diaper changing, but, it came full circle. And so I was like, okay, and so she was like, you're not really supposed to be in this class. You have to take this pre class before you actually get in here. She said, but I'm going to leave you in here. I'm not going to drop you. I'm going to leave you in here. And so she did. So the next semester, because I had that class, I started skipping other classes that I was actually supposed to take.
Wow.
And so the second semester, I took a couple of more Bible classes, trying to keep my GPA up. I took another, like a math or something like that, and then 2 child development classes. And so at the end of that, the teacher at the time, which I didn't know she was the director of the actual child development program, but she was also the professor there.
Wow.
She said, this is your calling. Like she's like, this is your calling. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is who you are. You have it naturally. And I'm thinking, no, I don't, because I don't want to. So of course I was succeeding in those classes. So I continued to take those classes. And so to come to find out, her dad was over the Baptist convention. He
Wow.
was over the whole convention. So she spiritually was in tune to my spirit,
Yeah.
what God had for me. And so that's kind of where it started. Then she offered me a job at Trinity Baptist Church.
Those are
And
great.
I believe I was 19 at the time when I started, when I first started working at the Child Development Center. And so that's where my beginning of early childhood began. And once I got there, I loved it. And then after I had Chris, I'm like, I'm going to stay here because I want to be where he is, wherever he
Yes.
goes, that's where I want to be. It wasn't a lot of money in it, but it worked out. It was a blessing. It was really a blessing. And so it opened avenues for other things to come.
God's divine intervention in our lives is so real. And
It
I
really,
just love the example, honey. Oh my goodness. Just and isn't it something, because I've had that experience too, where it's like, oh, you're a natural. Oh, you're supposed to do this. And you're like, really?
like, no. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
just going on with that and trusting it. And I feel like it's God like sending us people to just kind of nudge us in the right direction. Come on,
Yes.
baby, let me guide you over here. Let me
Yes.
just guide you over here. Come on down this little path right here. Let me help.
Exactly.
I love it.
And Michelle, it wasn't even a job anymore. It became my ministry.
That's how,
I
yes.
was getting paid to minister,
I love it.
and that's how I look at it. Even now, I'm like, I'm back in childcare. It's different. And I do the after school program, and we do a summer camp program.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a director. Finally got my director certification, and
Nice.
after all these years, but God has a way of doing it. He does it. And I love it. It's different because it's older.
Yes.
And I thought, older children, and I love it. I
Yes.
absolutely loved it.
I
Yeah.
think you've
So
been in preparation all these years, but
yes,
what you do and how it comes naturally,
yes,
that definitely I just see it like that definitely is just a clear vision. You can just
yes,
see anything, anything that we do. I feel like God has prepared us,
yes,
and his timing is everything.
yes.
May not have been ready before, for whatever reason.
It's true.
But he opens those doors, honey. When we're
Yes.
ready, he does open those doors, and I just love it. I love it. Oh, cousin, I have been asking. I'm so full right now. I feel like Thanksgiving dinner full, honey. I'm full. Do you hear me? I'm so full. Um, I'm asking every woman. Look, I'm trying to get my thoughts together, y'all. These are not live, but they are, they're pre-recorded. But nevertheless, I'm full. Perfectionism is the devil, honey. It's this demonic. So what happens, happens. I'm not editing nothing out.
That's it.
I'm full right now. I'm trying to get my thoughts right. Um, cousin, I'm asking all the women before we go. The name of this is called Lessons and Blessings. And so I'm asking everyone to share a lesson that they've learned, that maybe that they learned from their mom or their grandmother or whoever, a woman in your life, but a lesson that you've learned, or even just your journey, that you can share with other women, and guide them along the way. And so it
Yes.
can be more than one if you want.
Okay. So I think my biggest lesson is that I've learned is that I can do anything.
Mm,
There's nothing you cannot do. It may take you educating yourself to do it. It may
yes,
take you getting those experiences, whatever you need to do. There's nothing on this earth that you cannot do.
yes,
That you cannot do. and don't allow anyone to say you're not good enough. You don't have the education for it. I remember getting a job as assistant director and didn't have the education that was required. It
Sure.
was required a bachelor's, and I hadn't even finished my associates. But God had prepared me, and because the tools were there, the knowledge was there, I was given the opportunity. So don't ever let anyone say you can't. And my mom always say, don't say you can't. Say, you're going to get there. Don't say
Yeah.
what you can't do. You can do it. It may be challenging,
Yes.
but you can do anything you put your mind to. And never, never give up on yourself and kill all the noise in the background, because some people just don't know how to get there. So
Yeah.
sometimes they tend to bring you down or want to bring you down because they didn't have that direction, or they just don't know and can't figure it out themselves. But
Yeah.
it's up to us to encourage them and not allow them to bring us down. So be the encourager. I
Oh,
often tell my children, they're older, and I said, whatever you say, is it helpful or is it hurtful? Is if it's going to help them, say it. If it's hurtful, think about what you say before you say it.
yeah.
Yeah. And treat everybody as you want to be treated, with respect.
Yes.
Respect. So
That's good, boo. That's good. I love it. Family, I'm so full. I just feel like I'm about to kill over. Like it's just like, oh, I'm done for the day. I'm done, but I'm not. Look, I'm not. But I'm just saying, this is so good. This is so good. I'm so full. Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. And I'm super proud of you, Michelle. I know that this journey isn't easy, and I know there's naysayers, and
Yeah.
I saw where you started. I
Yeah.
saw things that God had to turn and tweak a little bit to get you here. You keep pushing, boo, because guess what? It's not over till God says so.
Thank you.
And guess what? His blessings are endlessly. It's
Yeah.
endless. He'll open up that window,
Pour you out a blessing.
hmm, and you won't even have room enough.
Yes.
There's an overflow. There's an
Yes.
overflow. People don't understand the overflow, but there's an overflow. Because if he open that window and pour you out that blessing that you have no room to receive,
To receive. Yes.
no, and eyes haven't seen, nor ears heard, nor enter in the heart of man what God
Yes.
has in store for you.
Yes.
It's beyond you. It's higher than them. It's
Yes.
higher than you. And you just keep the faith. I'm super proud of you. Super proud of you. Super,
Thank
super
you.
proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, you and my mama. I'm not crying. I'm not fooling with y'all. I'm not gonna be crying.
And you tell us naysayers, sayers, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That part I need in the name of Jesus.
Yes, thank you, Lord.
In the name of Jesus. Honey,
Yes,
thank
Lord.
you.
You're
I thank you for
welcome.
the foundation. I thank you for always, just being a support when whatever I'm doing. You're one of the first to jump on and support me. And I'm so grateful for that. I really am. And I don't even have the words, and I promise you I'm about to do the ugly cry. I gotta stop.
Got to stop.
It's coming,
It's
it's
a
coming. I told the ugly cry. Oh my gosh.
wrap.
Oh, but just know that I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, Charlotte. I can't even say all of the things. I can't even say all the things. And even as I was talking this, and it was just coming on me of just like I've always joked and said, where would I be if my cousin would have been doing XYZ? But I mean, just to really at 47 to sit in that thing and really know and understand that there are some people that went down the wrong road, and that didn't have this, that didn't have someone that loved and cared about them enough to say, "Hey, come here, let me show you this." Or, "Hey, no, your voice, no, your voice is beautiful. Come on, sing with me." And give you the confidence the confidence that I feel like, I just didn't have, you know, I just didn't have at the time. And when I look back over those times, I just can't say enough. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. That's all I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to stop, y'all. I'm trying to stop. I'm gonna stop. But it is the people that you allow to influence you and how much of a difference it makes. This is about inspiring and empowering women that have been in my life. And you inspired me, you empowered me, and look at me. You know what I mean? Like,
You're
I'm
doing
grateful.
it. You're
I'm
doing
grateful,
it.
honey. I'm grateful. Who knew? I didn't know back then I would be doing this, and using my voice in this way. And I feel like as I created Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free, the programs and the different ways that I can reach back and help others that have helped me, reach back and help others that need help, that are going through the same things that I've gone through. It's amazing how it came back around, because I was able to come back around and help you through some
Yes.
things and help you through some programs. And I was like, God, you are amazing. You're amazing how it came around and came full
Yes.
circle, for real.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for that as well.
Yes. This
And so,
platform that you have created is a blessing, you know. And like you said, it did pull some things that, how you feel like, oh, I got through those things. It was some things that was still there that was blocking, not, I won't say blessings, but blocking forgiveness.
yeah.
Because there's a heaviness when you don't forgive. And you
Hmm.
think you forgave,
Yeah.
but you just kind of pushed it down. So your platform had definitely at that time in my life that I was like, why is this so heavy on me? Gave me an opportunity to release it without judgment,
Yes.
without, because people look at you and say, oh, she got it together. It's a
Yes.
daily journey. It's a daily journey. Walking with God, being who God called you to be is a daily journey. I wouldn't take this journey back, but it's a
Yeah.
daily journey. You have to always be intentional how you speak to people, how you talk to people, what you choose to say and what you choose not to say,
Yeah.
you know, and some things you just bury, you bury them. And
Yeah.
to be able to release it and get it out and
Yeah.
have the platform to be
Yeah.
your authentic self in a time where people tell you you should be seen and not heard,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's God has prepared this platform for such a time as this. And I'm thankful that you're obedient
Yeah.
to God and that it came full circle, you
Yeah.
know, and that's what God do. He allows us to encourage others, and those same people will encourage us all as well and pull us out of situations that we didn't realize even existed.
Yes.
Sometimes you have this heaviness and you realize, what is this? Like, why is this feeling? Until you have the platform, the opportunity going into, I felt like it was a therapy session for me,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and being able to like release this. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I was that heavy. That's what it caused.
Right.
But I'm so grateful for that. It came
Yeah.
full circle and will continue with our kids and our kids' kids and, the people that surround us, our friends and family and coworkers and all, so
Yes.
I'm thankful for that.
Whew. Child of I'm in overflow now, honey. I was look, I was full. Now I'm flowing over.
Yeah.
Now I'm flowing over. Guys, as we wrap up, what Sharlon is referring to is my Reflections Choosing Me, the 7-day program. I have a 7-day, I have a 12-week program. But when I was first, just trying to figure out what God would have me to do, I was doing different things, different healing modalities that had helped me. Y'all know I've been on a very intentional healing journey since 2019, since my big mama passed away in 2015, and then my stepdad shortly after that. I spiraled in depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. Started having panic attacks when the holidays came up that first year, and did not know, that I was drowning in such, trying to do what we all do, continue to smile, continue to go to work and pretend as if everything is okay. And I was suffering in silence. And that is the whole reason for what you see now, for Reflections Choosing Me, the podcast, for the radio show, for, the programs, for all of the things that is now and the things that is to come. It is because Kirk Franklin, I've gone through the fire and I've
Yes, been through the flood.
through the
Broken.
I've been broken into pieces. Seen lightning flashing from above, honey.
Through it all.
But through it all, I remember that he loves me
And he
and he
cares.
cares, and he'll
He'll
never
never. That's it.
put more on me than I can bear, honey. That part right there, my love for Kirk Franklin came from my big cousin, Sharlon Waters Sirles, honey. Thank you, boo. That is my man. It got me through some stuff. But it is, using everything around you,
Yes.
right? The whole foundation of what we do is Romans 8 and 28, honey. The good, the bad, and the crazy is all working together. I pray that something has been said today that will inspire you, that has empowered you to walk in your journey, to help you to get up, to maybe break some chains of shame and guilt from your walk, to maybe today that you'll decide that you want to be a little bit closer to that God that we're talking about and get to know him for yourself, honey. Because I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Be disappointed. I promise you that. And just the ripple effect of obedience and what it does. Charlotte had no idea the ripple effect of her actions and what it was doing to me. She was just being obedient to the Spirit. And that goes to show you that she was a teenager, at that time. And so the age does not matter. Your age does not matter. You're not too young, nor are you too old to start. I just want to tell you that today. You're not too young. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. You're not too old, honey. You're not too young to start. Whenever he gives it to you, I call them our guardian angels. Those voices, they sit and they hear you. That's the Spirit of God. Your guardian angels, that people that have gone on, they're whispering, they're guiding you, they're leading you. Be obedient, baby. Listen to the whispers, because God is not a just because God.
Yeah.
And he's always going to send you a message through a messenger when you least expect it. Baby, I'm running over. Do you hear me? I'm running over. Ah, honey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you again. Thank you again. I'm so grateful.
It was an honor to be here. Thank you for thinking about me, and I appreciate everything you're doing for all the people. I was going to say women, but you happen men too. And all the women that we're celebrating this month.
Yes.
Fearfully and wonderfully made.
Honey, I told you, listen, every day I'm telling y'all, I know amazing women. I know amazing people, honey. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just saying. Baby, if you don't get inspired and empowered, because that is the purpose this month. It is Women's History Month. We are being inspired and empowered by the journey of the everyday woman, honey. Because it's great to know people and know the stars. We know that we're inspired by their stories, but I need you to look around at the women that are in your life. Who has inspired and who has empowered you? I'm challenging everybody to call somebody and tell them thank you today. Let them know what they've been to you. Let them know how they've affected your walk, what they mean to you. You might just be the light that they need. You never know if they're in darkness, and that you might be a light for them today, right? And so, yes, being obedient to the Spirit, honey. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Well, family, join me tomorrow when I will have another amazing woman. This is what we doing, baby. For the month of March, we are celebrating each and every day a phenomenal woman, honey. You never know who's going to show up. You never know who's going to inspire and empower you. So join us tomorrow. You know how your girl doing, honey. I aspire to inspire until I expire, honey. That's what I'm doing.
I love it.
What you doing?
I love
Mhm,
it.
Like Sharlon said, stop judging people and go on and make them phone calls a day. Bye, family.